So it's not on the list, but on TikTok, which I know you're not on, Jane, but
That's
a bunch of us here at Black News Channel on TikTok, and one of our producers, she had us all on her TikTok, and there's a "Baby Give Me Something" challenge. So we all kind of did this and danced to it, and that song makes me happy.
What's the song
So
name?
it's Wiz Khalifa. And it's a challenge going on right now on TikTok, and there's some dance steps to it and whatnot. So we all kind of did that and had some fun. So I like that one, and I like Justin Bieber, and I like his song "Yummy." I mean, I think that's happy and fun and uplifting and just kind of cutesy. And there's tons of awesome on YouTube dance move videos for that song. So. Well, Oreos are a classic pantry staple, something we're all stocking up on these days, but they're not exactly a luxurious dessert. Sure, they're tasty, but they don't really compare. Welcome back to Ladies First. We're going to get you caught up on some of today's business news. That was the sound of the closing bell. Stocks lost considerable ground today, but that's not enough to ruin several days of big gains. Today's sell-off only put a mild damper on the Dow's best week since 1938. The S&P and Nasdaq saw their best week since 2009, and that's due to massive rallies that shot values up during Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday sessions. Even though the Dow lost 4.1% today, it finished the week up 12.8%. The S&P 500 gave up 3.4% for the day, but still gained 10.3% this week. President Donald Trump issued an order today that seeks to force General Motors to produce ventilators for coronavirus patients under the Defense Production Act. Trump said negotiations with General Motors have been productive, but our fight against the virus is too urgent to allow the give and take of the contracting process to continue to run its normal course. Detroit's Big Three automakers extend their plans to temporarily close all U.S. factories as the coronavirus sweeps across the country. The companies bowed to pressure from union leaders and employees who called for protection from the pandemic that spread to more than 212,000 people in nearly every country across the globe. Ford said on Tuesday it will not reopen its plants in North America on March 30th as originally planned because of various stay-at-home orders due to the coronavirus. The recent popularity of Blue Apron Holdings mail-order meal kits is giving the struggling company a much-needed boost, but some industry watchers say that will pass once the coronavirus outbreak stops. Blue Apron is attracting new users in part because fresh ingredients can be hard to find in supermarkets right now, said Dan McCarthy, an assistant professor of marketing at Emory University's Business School. However, he notes the company was bleeding customers very consistently up until now, and recently that's likely to be the case once again as people return to their normal lives. Earlier today, Apple released a new screening tool and set of resources to help people stay informed and take the proper steps to protect their health during the spread of COVID-19 based on the latest CDC guidance. The new COVID-19 website and COVID-19 app available on the App Store were created in partnership with the CDC, the White House Coronavirus Task Force, and FEMA to make it easy for people across the country to get trusted information and guidance at a time when the U.S. is feeling the heavy burden of COVID-19. In response to coronavirus stay-at-home orders nationwide, Sling TV has extended its Stay In and Sling campaign to let anyone in the U.S. get 14 days of its Sling Blue Live TV streaming service for free. The service streams over 40 live channels, including news networks from CNN to BBC America. The service also delivers live Fox and NBC stations in major cities, including New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago, as well as numerous national networks. To get 2 weeks of Sling Blue, new users will need to sign up on sling.com by April 5th. Well, Dyson may be known for vacuum cleaners and hair dryers, but the coronavirus has forced the company to shift its ventilators. James Dyson designed a new one in just 10 days, and now he's making 15,000 of them to fight COVID-19. He sent a letter to employees confirming the British government's order for 10,000 units. According to Dyson, the company designed and built an entirely new ventilator called the Covent after getting a call 10 days ago from British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Mr. Dyson says the Covent is designed for COVID-19 patients and can be manufactured quickly, which is key as the demand rises fast. Well, stay with us. When we return, we'll discuss some tips on how to talk to your kids when we come back.
Welcome back. We're so glad you're still with us. Well, talking to kids about the coronavirus can be complicated. It's likely they've seen and heard a lot of information from friends and the media, and sometimes it can be pretty scary. They might be afraid, stressed, or worried. If your children are already prone to anxiety, you might want to take a look at the following tips, and you might want to calm their fears. And so here are a few tips. First, it is extremely important to have the conversation, talk about what coronavirus means and how they, and also ask them how they feel about it. Control the dialogue and don't provide too much information. Too much information can be pretty scary. Make the message positive and very solution focused. Make sure you also pitch the conversation at an appropriate level. The information you give to a 6-year-old is not the information you give to a 12-year-old. Listen and validate. If they say something, say, I hear you. Focus on those things that they can do and what others are doing to keep them safe. And I think this will give your kids tremendous comfort. And speaking of finding a solution, we have a tasty, tasty recipe that will put your hunger at ease. It is none other than honey soy glazed chicken wings. You have 4 pounds of chicken wings. You know, we've all got chicken because we're all sequestered now. 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of honey, 3 tablespoons of dark brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of cider, 1 tablespoon minced fresh ginger, 1 tablespoon minced garlic, 2 green onions, a tablespoon of black pepper, salt, and sesame seeds for garnish. And remember, we want to hear from you. Send us your videos of some of your cooking favorites. And we want to see you in your kitchens. And this just might be the right place right here on Ladies First. So submit your ideas to us at theblacknewschannel.com.
So it's Friday. We've got the whole weekend to feed, you know, the house, the kids, everybody. So that looks like a good idea to have the wings. I know you like to do fish on Fridays.
I do.
And I love salmon. So I think I'm going to do what I call stew salmon. And it's very easy. First you have to marinate your fish. That's the key, marinating the meat. So if you marinate it overnight, you can
Did
cook
you do
it for
that
tomorrow.
last night?
I haven't. I'm going to do it tonight to have for tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
But so we can do the wings quickly today for dinner
Wings
today.
Salmon tomorrow.
And then if you want, yes, so marinate your salmon tonight. And just some onion, garlic. You can use the powder. You don't have to use the fresh if you don't have it. And sprinkle some parsley if you want. Marinate that overnight. And then tomorrow what you do is when you're ready to cook it, you take, you know, the cans of onions, or use fresh onions, or fresh tomatoes. If you have fresh tomatoes, use fresh tomatoes. But you can use the canned tomatoes, the petite diced tomatoes. And you put a little bit of oil in your pot. You can use olive oil if you like the healthy, or you can use regular oil. And then you put the tomatoes in it, and then put the fish in it, and let it simmer. And add some more onions and garlic to your taste, of course. I like to put capers because I love capers. And you let that simmer, and there's your dinner for tomorrow.
Add a little grits, and you're good to go.
I'm going to have sauteed spinach with mine.
Try the grits.
I'm not a grits gal, but I'm going to do some sauteed spinach or broccoli. My daughter loves broccoli, so I'll probably do broccoli for her. So there you have it. If you're hungry and you want to know what's for dinner, there you go for tonight and tomorrow. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Ladies First, everyone. Well, as we all know, during this past week, President Trump has been giving a daily news briefing every day from the White House. And today is no different. We are expecting the president, as you can see, he's getting ready to get to the podium to give his daily briefing. I would imagine we're going to hear about him talking about the stimulus package that was approved, and of course, moving forward, what's going to happen. You know, this is our weekend. People are under, stay-at-home orders, different parts of the country. So a lot happening. It's been quite a busy week as we've all tried to deal with the coronavirus and the new world that we're dealing with. So the president will be stepping up to the podium shortly. We will carry that for you live if he comes up in the next few minutes during our program here.
Well, while we're, while we're waiting, I think one of the things that we want to say to our viewers is that it's a time for you to stay at home, stay safe. Stay tuned for us, of course, and stay in touch. And, we're all in this together.
Absolutely. And a lot of people are excited to hear from the president, to hear about what's going to help the ordinary American. We're hearing about these $1,200 checks for people. People want to know how soon they're going to be getting it. April 1st is next week, of course. That means rent is due and all your other bills are due. A lot of people, unfortunately, out of work. So depending on this stimulus money that hopefully will be coming in the next few weeks. So let's see what the president has to say. As you can see, he's stepping up to the podium now. Let's listen in.
Thank you very much. Great to have you. And thank you all for being here. My administration is taking new action to ensure that America has the medical resources and equipment needed to fight the global pandemic. It's been a brutal pandemic for over 150 countries all over the world. We've had great success over the last month. As you know, the millions and millions of pieces of equipment have been delivered successfully by us, purchased and delivered, and we've made it available to the states. And the governors have been very gracious for the most part, I would say. A couple that aren't appreciative of the incredible job. They have to do a better job themselves. That's part of the problem. But generally speaking, I have to tell you, the governors have been great. I just spoke to the governor of New Jersey, Governor Murphy, and he's very thankful. And Governor Cuomo has been very nice. They've really appreciated, I think, what the federal government has done. You look at the hospitals that are being built all over the country by the Army Corps of Engineers and FEMA. It's been really incredible. Nobody's seen it. They'll build hospitals in 2 or 3 days, portable hospitals. This afternoon, I invoked the Defense Production Act to compel General Motors to accept, perform, and prioritize federal contracts for ventilators. Ventilators are a big deal, and we've delivered thousands of them, and oftentimes you don't need ventilators very much. Hospitals don't have very many. And now we're turning out that we have to produce large numbers. But we've been able to do that, and we're going to be doing a lot more. This invocation of the DPA should demonstrate clearly to all that we will not hesitate to use the full authority of the federal government to combat this crisis. We thought that we had to deal with, as an example, General Motors, and I guess they thought otherwise. They didn't agree. And now they do. They do agree, and I think we might be able to pull it, but we let them know the way we felt, and they can't be doing that. We'll work in partnership with the private sector, but where an emergency exists, and it's very important that we get to the bottom line, and quickly we will do what we have to do and immediately exercise all available lawful authorities to get the job done. This afternoon, I also signed an executive order investing, and very, very strongly investing, the Department of Health and Human Services and the Department of Homeland Security with the full authorities available under the Defense Production Act to respond to the outbreak of the terrible virus, the invisible enemy, as we say. My order also establishes that Peter Navarro, a very trusted person from the White House, and he's done an incredible job for me in terms of negotiation, in terms of understanding